First, Councilman Rosenberg, Councilman Yeager, Councilman Littman, Councilman Shapiro, Councilman Duke, Councilman Zoller, have you anything to say with respect to Resolution 2015-90? And I just asked because you voted on it without discussing it. I just wanted to know if you would comment on why.
Mr. O'Connor, please complete your comments.
Am I not allowed to address the members of the council?
You're doing so right now by completing your comments, please.
Okay, so why did, okay, I didn't know, okay. So I don't know if any of you on the council wanted to respond to my question.
Continue, please.
I wasn't talking to you, Mayor, with all due respect.
I'm sure
I understand, but with all due respect.
I'm asking you to please complete your comments, sir.
I would certainly love to hear from the council tonight.
Complete your comments. Are you finished?
No, I'm not, but I would definitely love it on the minutes tonight that I asked every member on the town council why they had absolutely nothing to say about a resolution that they voted on. And they had nothing to say. I just wanted to make sure it's recorded. Next, Mayor, I wanted to respond to some of the things you said about the situation with shutting down the rescue squad. Well, I'll wait till you're ready. Okay.
Finish up, please, sir. I've asked you.
Well, I'm waiting for you to make sure that you're listening to me, that's all. I saw you talking over me. That's all. Are you ready?
You're running out of your time. Please continue.
Well, thank you. So, what I'm just trying to figure out, just person to person, to you, any of you, really, I don't understand why you don't want to refer to any specific rules or agreements or ordinance that was broken. I understand that you're making some comment maybe about like a tradition, a town tradition, that there's a certain protocol that's been followed de facto, if you will, but there's nothing written down that says they couldn't do what they did. So I'm just not understanding your reasoning, and that's all. So I just want to answer that opinion and would certainly love if you would talk about the concept of having written stipulations, having this codified into law, basically, because that's just something I think is very important. Next, I want to discuss ordinance number 2015-05, which you unanimously voted in favor of at the previous meeting, because I have some concerns. If you could dispel them for me, I would certainly be most grateful. So I do want to look at, I don't know if you have a copy of it with you, but this would be first page 2. So it says here, vacant and abandoned residential property means consistent with section 1 of PL 2010 C70 C2A 5073 residential real estate, yada yada, ... Residential property shall further be deemed vacant and abandoned where a mortgaged property is not occupied by a mortgager or tenant and at least 2 of the following conditions exist. And then F, the absence of window treatments, such as blinds, curtains, or shutters. And G, the absence of furnishings and personal items. So, fining creditors merely because window curtains and furnishings and personal items are missing from a property? I mean, with all due respect, this seems a little bit over the top. So if you wouldn't mind explaining specifically how a lack of window curtains or furnishings or personal items legitimately merits fining a creditor up to $1,500 a day until remedied, I would certainly be most grateful if you could do that now.
Finish your comments and then we'll see how we can best respond. And you're right, we don't have the ordinance tonight, but we'll try to respond.
Okay, so I understand that you like the public forum to be closed when you answer questions. I also realize you are under no legal obligation to answer any of my questions, but I would remind you that courtesy and transparency in the form of a brief Q&A or dialogue, as is granted in Hightstown, Hamilton, Robbinsville, and Monroe, just to name a few municipalities, in my opinion, that's just good government. Denying the public this courtesy, I believe, sends the message that, frankly, you just don't care. certainly, I promise all of you on council, and you, Mayor, that if I'm elected this November, and I'm your councilman, and you ask me any questions, any, I will gladly answer all of them, and any of them, because that's the style of governance that I personally believe in. Next, back to this ordinance here. Items on page 5 and 6 concern me greatly. We go back to the last meeting. I asked you what the maximum fine allowable would be, and you told me $2,000. But it's in clear print in this ordinance that you can fine an out-of-state creditor up to $2,500 a day. Additionally, you can impose a fine disguised under the term renewal fee, if you will, of $5,000. So if you could please address that clear discrepancy, I would greatly appreciate it.
Silence.
Finish your comments.
Okay, I'd just like to note again, have it in the minutes, and have everyone in the public know that I like to ask questions. I like to have my questions answered. The council, no one on the council, not one member on this council, wants to answer any questions I ask.
Okay.
They're up for election, some of them, and
Thank you,
everybody
Mr.
would please consider the fact that they don't answer questions, even though it's their paid job to do so.
Mr. O'Connor,
I'm almost finished, if I could. Thank you very
You
much.
exceeded your time, so I would appreciate that you wrap it up.
Well, I certainly appreciate your courtesy. Thank you. So, lastly, to be frank, while I definitely and totally applaud you, all of you, for taking on the issue of abandoned properties and the problems they can cause, to be honest, when you're ready, I'm sorry.
Would you just please continue?
Well, could you please listen to me with all due respect?
I'm determining how to best help you in your questions.
Okay, but you could best help me, quite honestly, if you listen to me and don't speak over me. So you could have listened to me. We're just talking.
Please finish, sir.
I would love to if you would listen to me. Thank you. Right, so like I was saying, see, every time you interrupt me, I have to go back and look at where I was. It's annoying. Right, so I think your fines are just too steep. While I agree with you that we want fines that make a clear statement and move predators to action, I think it would be good to discuss lowering the fines just a little bit. You know, maybe somewhere between $500 and $1,000. And just $2,500 a day is a lot of money, even for a bank. I know you don't like bankers, as you kind of insinuated at the last meeting. They're not, what, Mr. Joe or whatever you said. But, you know, if you're going to hold them responsible for ensuring that properties have curtains, furniture, and personal items, $2,500 a day for personal items, with all due respect, let's amend this ordinance and let's get rid of some of this silly nonsense. Thank you.